All right, so I've worn it and I'm not a big fan of it. All right, we got Armaf Odyssey Revolution. I've got like 10 of these things now. The Odyssey line is one of my favorites from Armaf. They got a few others, but this is definitely more in their budget-friendly category because most of these fragrances, even when they first come out, top end they're like 50 bucks, then they usually drop down within like 3 to 6 months to like 30 bucks online. You can get them very affordably, 100 ml bottles, usually Eau de Parfum concentration. And this is Armaf Odyssey Revolution. So let's go ahead and talk about those notes before I completely unbox this thing. Opens up with pineapple, black currant, blood orange, and sage, which makes me think this is kind of Aventus-y, just based off of that opening note. But then the middle notes are praline, vanilla, plum, and cardamom, which is not Aventus, so we're outside of that range now. So very sweet is what I'm seeing in the middle. And then base notes of patchouli and tonka. So this is a lot of very different notes. This could be fruity and fresh. It might be gourmand. It might be, there's just a touch of aromatics in there. So let's see what this thing's gonna end up being. All right, let me get out my little papers of smells so I don't have to spray myself right off the bat. As always, the way we do it on this channel is we spray it on paper. I give you my basic impressions of those notes that I mentioned earlier, and then I spray on skins, tell you if there's any real differences. There's the bottle, very fancy. And then we kind of move on. I blip out of existence for a moment, and then when I come back, it's been me having worn this for a day or two, gotten to experience the longevity, the dry down, the projection, all the various notes as they present themselves, and I talk about that. But let's go ahead and mention this thing was produced May of 2025. So this has had time to sit. It's now November, so it's had 6 months to just sit there in the bottle. Sometimes you'll notice Armaf in particular, I believe, has a very robust need for maceration or aging of the fragrance. Some people say you gotta spray it first, some people say you don't. I've never really noticed a difference, but let's go ahead and pop this open. Looks like all the other Odysseys, except this one doesn't have like a leather case or anything on it. It's just like a straight glass presentation. Let's go ahead and do the sprays. Decent atomizer. They're all the same with Odyssey, so they're all pretty much the same kind of overall presentation. I think when the new, ooh, okay. All right, so I can already tell you, this has a BR540 kind of opening vibe. Yeah, okay, that's interesting. So it starts out with kind of a BR540, that kind of sweetness, almost metallic sweetness to it, but it's still on the fresher side, if that makes sense. So it's got that BR540 like sweet metallic kind of thing that some people notice, me in particular, and then you get a little bit of freshness. So it's not a straight up pure fruit bomb. There's no other way to describe it. It's that BR540. If you want something else that's in like the Middle Eastern line, it has a very similar to the Afnan 9 PM Rebel kind of sweetness to it. That's what you end up with. And even Afnan Rebel 9 PM is like a cross between Aventus and BR540. So like that makes perfect sense. So you're getting the fruits. Obviously the pineapple note is not coming off as straight pineapple. It's really just this general sweet fruitiness with a little bit of citrus, and the sage is in there as well. And that's giving the whole presentation, again, that kind of BR540 DNA. Club de Nuit Untold, that's another one that's gonna have that same kind of DNA. That one has a little bit of cedar in the base with it. But yeah, overall, that's really pleasant. I'm not getting any of the praline, I'm not getting any vanilla or cardamom yet. It's just so far a lot of fruit, sweetness, and that, again, that BR540 kind of DNA. All right, let's go ahead and spray on the skin. I will say this, it comes off, based on paper so far, a little feminine. So this is striking me as a little bit feminine, even though this is a very masculine presenting bottle, in my humble opinion, but you wear what you want to wear. Okay. Skin is a lot more masculine. That's wild how different that is on skin. A lot more citrus on skin, a lot less straight sweetness. So you get a little bit of like, the sage pops a little harder on skin. It's not that overwhelming sweetness that you get on the paper. So that structures it very differently. So if you spray this on your clothing, ladies or gentlemen, you're gonna have a very different presentation than you will just on spraying on your skin. But yeah, way more citrus on skin. The citrus orange, that blood, a sweet blood orange note, that's kind of what I get right off the bat along with the sage. And I'm kind of already getting a little bit of the middle notes. That plum in particular is coming out a little bit, which is a little bit of how do I describe it? It's kind of similar to like that similar plum note as the what is it called? The Latafa Assad bourbon. So that kind of plum note, that very, very sweet, but obviously absent all the other things that are in that particular fragrance. It's just that one note. Very pleasant though. Nothing else is coming out right away, so I'm going to go ahead and cut the video here and tell you, hey, I'll be right back. For y'all, it's like a split second. For me, it's a few days of wear, and then I can tell you all about it after I've worn it a bit. So yeah, see you in just a second. All right, so I've worn it, and I'm not a big fan of it. Let's go ahead and talk about it. So, how does this thing break down over time? First, let's go with performance. It lasts a long time. It projects pretty well. I'd say probably 4 hours of decent projection with moderate application. If you want to overspray, you get better performance. It just depends on your skin and pH, as well as temperature and whatnot. But as far as the actual notes, as they break down and everything else, it's just not my thing. Again, longevity's great. You'll smell it in your skin end of the day. Projection's decent. You'll push it out in front of you for a good while. But those notes, it's just something I don't like about it. The opening's fine. The opening, again, has that BR540 kind of fruity vibe to it with a little bit of like almost like a metallic kind of thing that I'm picking up there. There's a lot going on with the fragrance. You get those middle notes of vanilla, but what really I don't like is the dry down. I smelled it on myself 6-7 hours later, and I was like, this smells kind of musty. That patchouli, it's not like a sweet patchouli. It's not like a green patchouli. It's like a musty kind of combo with the tonka bean. Not musky, not M-U-S-K, like the typical fragrance note that's kind of sweet and maybe a little powdery. Musty, like an attic or a basement. It just, something was off about it. It was very strange on my skin. It could be my skin. That could be the issue. It could be on me. But I've never had it quite like that, a smell dry down to something that unpleasant on my skin, so maybe it's not just me. I didn't get a good result out of this. You might have better luck. I can't say much more about it because I personally didn't have a good experience on my final dry down after wearing this several times, and it just didn't get better. Now, it could get better after it's been sprayed and sat for a while. Maybe this is one of those fragrances that really does need to get sprayed a few times, go sit for a few months, then come back to it. I'll test it again, I promise. But as of right now, this just isn't it for me. So Odyssey Revolution Ultra Edition is kind of a modest disappointment. So bummer, but it happens. And hope the video was helpful, and have a great day.